Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and today I'm bringing you guys the second extra episode of the first chapter of my sniper rifle reviews as part of the Exploring the Arsenal series. And in this review, we're going to be talking about, or we're going to be discussing, the E-57 Musket. Now, this is just like the Lee Enfield from the last review, this is a forgeable, or gun-important forgeable sniper rifle that you can forge with either the M39 EMR Desert, which is the NX standard variant of the M39 EMR sniper rifle, or the M24A3. And because we've already done the M24A3, I decided to stick the E-57 Musket review here as part of the M24 review, because that's the first thing that I review, obviously. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a deeper look into the E-57 Musket. So, like I said, this is a forgeable variant. I did try Googling the E-57 Musket, see if it was actually based off a in real life gun. As far as I know, I don't think it is. I could be wrong on this. Maybe I'm just too lazy in searching it up. But from all the searches that I did get, I don't think the E-57 Musket is a real gun. So this may be just a gun that Nexon probably made up. It probably is based off a real life sniper rifle, or a musket of some sort, because obviously its description does say that, just going by its looks alone, it looks like, an old Confederate rifle, some rifle or musket that, people way back when would be using, maybe 18th, 19th century, something like that. So kind of looks like that. So with that being said, might be a real gun, but if it is, Nexon definitely change the name on that, because I couldn't find anything. Other than that, though, just other basic information about the E-57 Musket. Like I said, obviously, it's a forgeable rifle, so in order to get it, you need to buy either the M24A3 or the M39 EMR Desert, and it requires 10 replica pallets, or it requires 10 replicas, not just the pallets, but 10 replicas in order to forge from the M24A3, or, like I said, the M39 EMR Desert. So, it is rather expensive, because not only does it require an NX weapon that you need to, purchase with real money, or surveys, whatever, but on top of that, it does require 10 replicas, not just the pallets, but 10 replicas. In other words, that probably requires, like, what's the exchange rate? Isn't it like 5 for 1 in the gun emporium or the scavenger job? So it's like 50 replica pallets in total that you need to get from the wheel of fortune, the wheel of fate, not the wheel of fortune, but the wheel of fate. So it is kind of expensive overall if you're gonna think about it that way. And to throw in the obvious, because it is, an NX rare, or not NX rare, but NX standard forgeable rifle, it doesn't require any rec requirement, and yeah, you can just basically get it as soon as you have money to buy it. So hey, there you go, right? Now let's get into the stats of the E-57 Musket. The E-57 Musket deals a damage of 89, a portability of 45, rate of fire of 40, an accuracy of 99, and a recoil of 64. Now, right off the bat, you guys can definitely tell that the E-57 Musket stats are a little bit more different than the other sniper rifles that we've reviewed thus far, especially the original M24A3 that you forge it from. Once you forge this thing, the E-57 Musket becomes a totally different sniper rifle, just going by stats alone, as you guys can clearly tell. The damage is obviously the lowest that we've seen thus far. Even the Lee Enfield deals more damage than this at 91, as opposed to the E-57 Musket's 89. However, the portability is surprisingly high. It still retains that high portability that the M24A3 has, which is kind of surprising, because if you actually use this gun in game, it doesn't feel light. It doesn't feel like you're running around with M24. In fact, you feel kind of slow. Just gonna throw it out there. But I mean, if the Commander's Wiki does say it has a portability of 45, then maybe it's a little bit faster than I thought. So the real benefit here of using the E-57 Musket, however, is the fact that it has 40 rate of fire. Now, this is a really, really freaking insane rate of fire, because according to Commander's Wiki, as part of the trivia, apparently the E-57 Musket has the second highest rate of fire of all sniper rifles in the game, only surpassed by the M14 EBR. Now that's pretty crazy, because for a semi-automatic sniper rifle, that it's set on semi-automatic, which is different, because what you have to understand is that most people forget the fact that a lot of semi-automatic, I'm saying this in quotes, sniper rifles are actually fully automatic, such as the SR25 and other guns like that. You probably know which ones they are. However, some other sniper rifles, like the E-57 Musket, are truly semi-auto in that if you hold down the left trigger or the left click, it won't, go spraying and praying. You have to actually click every single time you want to fire this thing. But given the fact that it has a 40 rate of fire, you can fire this thing faster than most fully automatic sniper rifles, which is kind of insane if you think about it, because it's a sniper rifle and it's semi-automatic, but it has more rate of fire than a fully automatic sniper rifle. Because it's like, whoa. So the rate of fire is definitely a good bonus or a good plus on the E-57 Musket. However, there is a caveat to this, as I'll show you later on in this review. The accuracy on the E-57 Musket is just like the Elite Enfield's at 99. Again, it's one tick off 100 accuracy, which, boo-hoo, oh my god, it's not perfectly accurate like the M24 is. Yeah, whatever, get over it, it's got 99 accuracy. You'll pick off people from long enough away. So don't worry about it. Accuracy is excellent. And as for the recoil on the E-57 Musket is a 64. Now, let's compare this with the Elite Enfield's recoil first. The Elite Enfield has a recoil of 70. Now, I mentioned before in that review that having a recoil of 70 is kind of bad because the Elite Enfield has such fast rate of fire that the recoil actually does play a factor with using the Elite Enfield. The E-57 Musket, however, on the other hand, has a 64 recoil. Obviously, that's 6 points less. You think, oh my god, that's a lot less recoil than the Elite Enfield. Not exactly. If you actually scope in with the E-57 Musket and you start shooting, you'll notice that it kicks quite a bit. In fact, I'm pretty sure it kicks more than the Elite Enfield. So why this thing has a 64 recoil, whereas the Elite Enfield has a 70 recoil, I don't really know, but as far as I can tell, as far as my experience with the Elite Enfield and the E-57 Musket goes, the E-57 Musket has a higher in-scope kick. Not necessarily, what you have to understand is that recoil is a combination of two factors. One being center speed, which is how fast your gun settles back to original hipfire spread or your original, center speed. Well, I'm defining it. Never mind. Center speed is basically how fast your gun goes back to normal after you fire a shot. For those of you guys who have ever played any kind of FPS, and you guys have ever managed any sort of recoil, you'll know what I'm talking about. On top of that, the recoil is also defined by view kick, which is how much you physically see your gun move from its original position. So when you fire the E-57 Musket, not only is its center speed not as fast as its full rate of fire allows it to be, but all on top of that, the view kick that the E-57 Musket has every time you aim down sights and you click once or you fire a bullet, it kicks straight up, and it actually kicks quite a bit up too. So you need to worry about that. That's why I feel like honestly the E-57 Musket virtually has more recoil than the stats show, compared to the Elite Enfield. So I think the recoil is something you definitely have to worry about on the E-57 Musket. It's not something you just like, oh, spray, and it'll go same place every time. Nah, it's not. It doesn't work like that. So you do need to be careful of the recoil, and you do need to be careful of how fast you're firing, because its effective rate of fire is definitely not 40. It's more towards like maybe 20-ish or so, half of that. So just if you want to, you can try getting a full scope of how exactly fast the E-57 Musket fires, and then have that so that you fire effectively and your bullets go where you want them to every single time. Because accuracy is a 99, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people think that's less accurate than it really is because of the fact that, oh, my bullets aren't going the same place every single time whenever I fire as fast as I can. No, you're doing it wrong. It's because the center speed of the E-57 Musket is not good enough. It doesn't center as fast as its rate of fire, its maximum rate of fire at least, allows you to. So that's something you must keep in mind when you use the E-57 Musket. When we're talking about other non-statistical aspects of the E-57 Musket, as for its draw speed, I'm not really gonna say its draw speed is fast by any means. I believe the Elite Enfield has a much faster draw speed. I mean, then again, it's faster than most of the other M24 variants anyway. But the E-57 Musket, the draw speed on this thing is comparable to the M24s, I guess. It's nothing to hark over. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just average. Like, yeah, whatever. As far as the ammunition count goes, it has 10 rounds in the magazine and 20 rounds in reserve, just like the M24, A3 Woodland, and the Elite Enfield. So you don't have a lot of ammunition, especially not for a semi-automatic sniper rifle with, you know, with 40 rate of fire. It's not a lot of ammunition. It might be a lot for a gun like the M24A3 Woodland, not so much for the musket. Modification restrictions, I mean, I believe you can put an extended mag on this, like magazine modifications. Yeah, that's the only thing you can put on there. Then again, though, it's kind of like the M24A3 Woodland, where it already has 10 rounds per magazine anyway, and it doesn't necessarily have the fastest reload animation in the world. And especially, I feel like if you put like an extended mag 2 on it, it's like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose, because you already have 10 rounds in magazine anyway, and you're going to make your reload speed that much slower. So I don't recommend any modifications on your E-57 musket. Once you forge it, it's basically good to go as it is, unless you really want to put a fast loader mag on it. Your choice, man. Other than that, though, again, this ties in with the reload speed. Reload speed is decent. I'd say it's average for as far as sniper rifles on a broad scale are concerned in combat arms. Its animation is certainly simple. It's just like the what's that other one? The S58 Musket, I think it's called, where I think they basically have the same reload animation. Maybe the E-57 Musket has a much faster reload animation than I think, because maybe I might be confusing that with the S58 Musket's reload speed. But as far as, it's just, you know, it might be a little bit faster than average, but, you know, it's nothing to, you know, freak out about. So there you guys go. Hey, welcome everybody to the E-57 Musket review testing, or this is the testing portion of it anyway. So, as you guys can see, I have the good old E-57 Musket here on my hands, and as you guys know, as we usually start with, okay, there's going to be a slight hiccup in the testing right now. Let me just make my way back. So anyways, like I said, the E-57 Musket, if you guys, if I hadn't mentioned it already, I'm sure I have, but the E-57 Musket is the forgeable variant of the M24A3. So if you do want to forge your M24A3 into something, then this is what you get. So right, this is going to be the hipfire testing of the E-57 Musket. So here we go. So as you can see, the hipfire spread is actually not that bad on the E-57 Musket, though it is notable to mention that the hipfire spread appears to go a little bit above where your center of your screen is. So let's just go ahead and test that again. Okay, it seems like that's actually a lot more different. So obviously, as you guys can see, the hipfire spread is kind of erratic. It's kind of like the same pattern as the M24. Then again, all sniper rifles may have similar hipfire spreads, but it definitely seems like the E-57 Muskets is a lot more, kind of goes more so all over the place than the M24s are. What the hell are you guys doing up there? Anyways, so let's go ahead and, let's see, from a longer distance away, we'll go ahead and test it again, this time on that wall. So as you can see, the hipfire spread is indeed really erratic. Probably not, this gun, even though it is full auto, or it's semi-automatic technically, and it does have a decent rate of fire, probably not the best idea to try noise scoping with unless you really want to be annoying. So, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go get some more ammo. Alright, so we are back. I have no idea what these guys that are in this room with me to help me test are doing right now, but they seem like they're killing each other, so we'll let them be. So this is going to be the scope style and the scope analysis, I suppose, and the ADS time of the E-57 Musket. So I don't think it's as fast as the M24 scope is. The M24 scopes are definitely a lot faster than this is, or it's not a lot faster, but it's like almost instantaneous. Whereas this one, you can tell that it takes a little bit of time, even if it's not a lot of time to aim down sights here. It's definitely not as slow as the L96A1 is, but it's still slower, markedly slower than the M24s. Damn, if one of them hit me again, I swear there's gonna be band hammers. So, let's go ahead and set it like that so we can look at its idle sway. And as you guys can tell, the idle sway is very minimal, just like the M24A3, just like the M24, whatever. The idle sway on the E-57 Musket is very manageable. Very similar anyway. So there you go. And on top, and finally, to comment on the sniper scope style, as you guys can tell, this is a lot different from one the scopes that you see on the original M24s, M24A3, whatever. As you guys can tell, the E-57 Musket has a single red dot and two very thin lines that basically mark your crosshairs. And to be honest with you, I really like the sight because it's a very accurate, it's a very pinpoint accurate sniper scope style. However, I do recognize that this kind of scope style isn't really meant for everyone per se, so you know, whether or not this floats your boat or not, you're going to really have to try it out, because sometimes, you know, you look at a scope style and say, I don't really know if I like that or not, and then you go ahead and try it out, and maybe, you know, your opinions will change about it. So there it is. Take it for what you will. This is what the sniper scope looks like on the E-57 Musket. God damn, these guys are fucking around a lot. Alrighty, so because the last lobby was full of douchebags and retards who couldn't follow instructions when I asked them to please not kill anyone, I've got myself a new lobby. So as you guys can see, we've got Glow with the medium vest, I think, and next with the heavy vest, and I Go Ninja with the light vest. So as you guys can see, they've got all kinds of vests here. We're going to test the damages on the E-57 Musket. Now I don't remember the damage on the musket off the top of my head, so we'll see if any of these are one-shot kills. So first of all, starting with the medium vest. Takes him down to 12 HP. He's got a medium vest, by the way. Next, he's got 27 HP. So the heavy vest is, well, it protects you a lot more. And as for a light vest, it still doesn't kill him. Actually, he went all the way down to 1 HP. So I'm interested in I'm interested to see if the E-57 can actually one-shot a light vester to the front. Maybe that was like a one-chance thing, so I'm going to try it again. Nope, it doesn't. So, as you guys can tell, as you guys can clearly see, the E-57 Musket is it will almost never be a one-shot kill. Unless they've been shot like at least once or twice, the E-57 Musket will not be able to kill anyone in one shot. Alright, so we've got them all turned around now. Let's start with the medium vester. One shot. How about the heavy vest? Not a one shot, which is very surprising. And light vest. I think we all know how this will go. So the E-57 Musket can actually one-shot light vesters and medium vesters to the back. However, the heavy vest is powerful enough to tank a shot to the back. So that may be a good thing. Well, that may be good to know when you have this musket and you want to shoot someone in the back. If you see that they've got a heavy vest, they're gonna survive it. So this part of the test, or this part of the test filming, it will demonstrate to you one of the quirks that the E-57 Musket has. Well, it's not, I think this is its only real, like, you know, fancy quirk, whatever. But if you guys will notice, when I go full auto while scoped in, oh, I didn't have enough ammo. Whoops. The recoil for the E-57 Musket is basically straight up most of the time. As you guys could probably tell, I was going full auto there, so it was kind of jittering left to right slightly. But if you're sniping at long range, and you've got the E-57 Musket, the bullet pattern is, for me anyway, is actually really predictable. This is kind of the speed that you normally fire at full auto at range, but as you can see, you know, if you keep firing it on, it's not exactly going to go in the same place all the time. So the center speed is not as fast as the E-57 Musket's rate of fire. So actually, there are two quirks about this. Thank you. Actually, I need more ammo. The E-57 Musket. Yeah, I'm tripping over my words now. the musket not only has a very predictable kick to it, because as you guys can tell, it just goes straight up. It just like that. It might have a lot of recoil, but it's if you fire it slowly and manage your rate of fire, then you should be able to nail targets as they pass by or whatever. So, you know, obviously that's a good thing. For me personally, it's a very predictable recoil pattern, unlike some other semi-automatic sniper rifles out there. But also, as you guys can tell, whenever I go full auto with this thing, even if I'm not firing as fast as it can, like for example, we'll take a look at this next magazine. Like those last two shots, those last three shots went nowhere near where my reticule was at. So as you guys can tell, the center speed of the E-57 Musket is not as fast as its actual rate of fire, which means that it is possible to fire this and miss your targets completely, even though you have your scope just like perfectly over your target. So do keep in mind that you do kind of need to conserve your rate of fire with the E-57 Musket, and you can't fire as fast as you'd like to. Maybe at close range, if someone's about to rush you, or if someone's like right next to you, you can just go turn around and no scope them really quickly because it has a rate of fire for that. But at long range and medium range sniping, you want to keep your rate of fire as steady as possible at a manageable rate of fire. So, as I've already mentioned, I think one of the quirks that the E-57 Musket has is that its recoil when you aim down sights. The view kick is actually, for me personally, it's actually really good. And it might seem counterintuitive because I already mentioned before that the view kick on the E-57 Musket is really, really high, as you've probably already seen in one of my tests. However, I really like that for some reason. I really like the fact that it kicks up the same way every single time. It has very precise recoil where you know exactly what it's going to do every single time. It's always going to kick straight up and it's going to fall back down at the same time every single time. Maybe this is also true for other sniper rifles, but for example, if you look at the SR25, one of the reasons why I don't really like that sniper rifle is because of the fact that when you aim down sights and you go full auto, not only will its recoil, its rate of fire make it so that its recoil kicks it up out of control eventually, but also it doesn't kick straight up, but it kicks either diagonally left, diagonally right. Granted, it's very accurate recoil where it doesn't kick much. It doesn't really kick at all. If at all, it only kicks like a little bit, But it flips. It's just very random. It's not precise at all. It just goes diagonally left, diagonally right. Like maybe it can go diagonally right, maybe like 3 times in a row, and it'll go diagonally left. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like the SR25 too much. However, with the E-57 Musket, even though it kicks up pretty high, I know what it's going to do every single time, so I don't need to worry about getting distracted by the scope, kicking somewhere that I don't want it to, or in an unexpected way, and it throws me off, like, oh my god, what the hell's going on? So that's why I really like the recoil on the E-57 Musket. It's just precise. I know what it's going to do every single time. Might not be accurate per se, like accurate recoil, as far as recoil is concerned, but it's very precise. I know what it's going to do, and it's very predictable that way. Another quirk that it has, I've already probably mentioned this before, but its center speed is not as fast as its full rate of fire. It can't accommodate its full rate of fire. If you fire the E-57 Musket as fast as you can, you'll notice that it's not going to go in the same. It's not going to go where your scope goes every single time. In fact, if you do fire as fast as you can, it's probably not going to go where you want it to go at all. It might land like maybe a few centimeters away from where you want it to, and at short range and medium range, maybe this won't really matter that much. But at long range, it will matter because obviously at long range, people are smaller targets, and if your bullet goes a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right or a little bit away from the center of your scope, you know that how frustrating that can be if you guys have ever used semi-automatic sniper rifles and you've come across the problem of, oh hey, guess what, your sniper rifle doesn't have as good a center speed as you thought it might have it, so you're gonna miss every single one of your shots. Good luck with that. So the E-57 Musket unfortunately has that problem, but because it has such a fast rate of fire, I'd recommend, like I mentioned before, you take your maximum rate of fire and you cut that in half. Like maybe at 20 rate of fire, then you'll be able to land consistent shots every single time where your scope points at. So just keep that in mind. It's not a good quirk, but it's something you just need to get used to and just work with. And besides, it's probably not a good idea to spray at long range anyway. I mean, you know, short range, mid range, okay, whatever, they're close enough. At long range, why the hell you want to spray? There's no reason to. Take your time and just pick people from a distance. Other than that, like I usually talk about quickscoping viability. Just like Elite Enfield, there's really no point in quickscoping with the E-57 Musket. I mean, it's not a one-shot kill gun, and on top of which, it's, you know, it doesn't feel like a gun you should quickscope with. So there you go. There's not really much else to say about that. Other than that, as for personal opinions of mine, the E-57 Musket is a fun gun to use. I have a lot more fun using this one over the Elite Enfield because the Enfield, let's face it, it's a bolt-action sniper rifle. The E-57 Musket is a semi-automatic. At least Nexon's not telling you to use this in a really, you know, a douchebaggy way. I mean, granted, you could. It's got 40 rated fire. It's got 10 rounds in magazine. So if you're caught out in the open, or if you're caught at close range with this thing out, I mean, you can defend yourself and just try spraying, and hopefully you kill them faster than they can kill you, which probably is not going to happen. But hey, at least you have a chance. Even then, the E-57 Musket is not a, you know, it's not a viable sniper rifle. It's not a good one, but it's fun. It's very fun to use every single once in a while. And if you got a spare M39 EMR Desert or M24A3 lying around, and you know you just feel like running around with a semi-automatic sniper rifle that's actually good, then the E-57 Musket is a good semi-automatic sniper rifle, in my opinion. And if that's what you're looking for, maybe this is what you want. So make sure to go ahead and try it. You never know until you try. So there you guys go. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. As for the recommended playstyle and class setup, the E-57 Musket is really just, you know, it's a definite, just sit back, take your time, and, you know, pick people from a distance from a very safe location. Just like, you know, maybe if you're playing on oil rig, you just hang out on top of the rooftops, maybe hang out on the crane, and just snipe people off. If people are shooting at you, just take cover, and then just try to, you know, be a little bit sneaky, and then try to snipe them from a different angle. The E-57 Musket is definitely a conservative sniper rifle, so definitely play kind of like that. So make sure you kind of play according to that kind of, you know, conservative role. You know, what if you want to call it campy, whatever it is. Don't have to, you know, don't have to hide anything from that. So, you know, just set up in a position, have like maybe a good pistol or submachine gun as backup in case people decide to rush your position, and you know, just make sure you can't get flanked, and you know, just have fun picking people off from a distance. That's basically what this E-57 Musket is, you know, designed to do. And it just seems like the E-57 Musket has a very good damage drop off, and most likely you won't be able to you're not going to need more than 2 shots to kill anyone at any range. So there you guys go. That's the end of the review. The E-57 Musket is a good sniper rifle for what it's meant to do, but it's overall, it's not, you know, it's not a one-shot sniper rifle, obviously. So thank you guys very much for watching. This has been a review on the E-57 Musket. Next one is going to be on the Tango 51, so look forward to that, please. And we'll see you guys until then. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye. So these are the shout-outs of the E-57 Muskets. Test dummies here. So yeah. So yeah. Again, thank you to Next, XGlow, and iGo Ninja. There's his YouTube channel right there. For helping me out with the E-57 Musket testing, and to the other guys in the other test lobby, but again, they don't get a shout out because they were douchebags and assholes. So, oh well, sucks to be them. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's gonna be it for the E-57 Musket review. Thanks you guys very much for watching, and we will see you guys later in the next review. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye.